Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have Carlos Siqueira. Carlos is an author, success speaker, business acceleration strategist, investor, and movement maker on a mission to make poverty history. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest today, Carlos Siqueira. Now, the question I have for him today is I want to know all about NFTs. I'm very passionate about cryptocurrency. I do a lot of that. And I'm really watching the NFT space and the real positivity around NFTs, and the time to get in is now. So it's going to be a great conversation. We are streaming live on MSPNewsGlobal.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're also streaming through the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many more. And we're also on Business Innovators Radio Network. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver, Artist Ranch. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Carlos Siqueira. Carlos, welcome to Brilliance Business TV.
What's going on, my brother? Great to be here. How's everything?
Everything is going really well, and I was on your show recently, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yes, and we had a great time, and it was a very exciting show, and everyone loved it.
You have so many hats that you're wearing, Carlos. So I really want to explore all the different things that you do. I know you do a lot of crypto, NFTs, investing. You also do PR, media coverage. You're also a big charity man around poverty and helping speakers as well get onto stages and build their speaking profiles and branding. So my first question, Carlos, just take us back a little bit about your background and past that has led you into the work that you're doing today.
That's a great question, my brother. It's a great question. It's like I've been talking a lot lately, on Twitter and Clubhouse and Wisdom app and many places that I've been, getting invited to speak. And one thing, that theme that's keep coming back is hope. 2022, the word is hope.
I like that.
And hope is something that I want you guys to, let's go back in time. Once upon a time, 30 years ago on this day, a little kid was on the street selling breads to help his widow mother, to end the suffering. That little boy and his mom and his grandma, they were being abused mentally and physically. They seen a lot of death around them. Every day in the news in Brazil, people were being dead, kidnapped, murdered, decapitated, a lot of corruption. His friends that would sew alongside him, sometimes they wouldn't come back to work. And deep inside that little boy, he was losing hope. And he almost ended his life. But God has spoken to that little boy. And you know what that God told that little boy? He said, hey, Carlos, your future doesn't have to equal your past. Yes. Unless you carry on the stories with you. Come on, brother Carlos. Say that again, because somebody right now needed to hear this. If everything seems difficult for you right now, my friends, if everything seems like chaos, the roof is falling, you're behind your bills, I wanted you to have hope. And I'm going to whisper into your ear right now where God whispered into me 30 years ago before I end my life, as I was telling myself as a 6.5-year-old boy, I was going to stab myself. But right before that moment, God said, hey, Carlos, your future doesn't have to equal your past unless you carry on the stories with you. If all I can give you here today is just a little bit of hope and strength and power to take that anger, to take that frustration, the anxiety, whatever is that thing is inside of you, and convert into what drive, convert into power, convert into taking your mess that you are in right now and make your message. And just help one person today, my friends. And that's been my philosophy. I come from a F-top background. But if you can just help one person today, we're going to help one. We are going to win one. And we will make poverty history. I told that to myself, my brother, 30 years ago. And I kept telling them myself every single day. And I always told people, just because my father died in a car explosion when I was a baby in a horrible car accident, just because my stepfather was murdered, just because I lost a lot of people, it didn't mean I was going to die in the hood just because somebody told me. It didn't mean I belonged there. Your environment is not your circumstances. Whatever that thing is that bother you, that disturb you, I pray for you to take that and turn into a drive to go on your mission, because life is all about the mission, my friends, never the commission. Ah, man, it's just yeah. I've been I've been having some very profound stories, brother, this past couple of days, and I like to journal and reflect. And I just had a download right now that somebody needed to hear this today on your show.
Well, I thank you, Carlos, for sharing your vulnerabilities of what you have been through. I am totally with you that your past does not define you. You know my past, and we used it as a determination to make a better future. And everyone out there watching, if you're struggling right now, you do not have to let your past or present circumstances affect your future realities. Now, Carlos, we are both passionate about PR and media coverage. You have your own PR business, your PR enterprise as well. Tell us all a bit about what you do with PR and media coverage.
I love helping people, and I got to a point where I've been very blessed, from before I even go into that, the reason I started talking about hope and mindset, because I think that a lot of people out there, you see a lot of people on social media, they are flashing, right? Their planes and their cars and downloading, all that fancy stuff. But you don't see nobody, downloading their anxiety, uploading their fears.
Very true.
And a lot of influencers out there talk about making a difference in the planet, but it becomes nothing but words that coming out of their mouth.
Yes.
And, so that's why I wanted to address the demon right now and take the layers off the onion. We're going to peel it, and that's why I always love to start there. So that now that I got your attention, PR, getting yourself to be in the media, interviewed, like right now, collaborating with your peers, where one interview each other and you help other people, and you get on TV shows and podcast shows, and you get the media to wanting to talk about you. Not you paying, getting them, get their attention. Like, I have media companies that somebody cannot just come in to my companies and here, Carlos, here's money. You don't have a button to purchase. You have to tell us your story first. We vet every candidate, because why? What we do is we take somebody, we give people scholarships. Here's a $25,000 program. If you are granted this scholarship, they only pay $2,000, which pays our staff, and we donate a lot of money towards our causes. So I want to be able to give people that don't have the ability to afford 10, 20,000 to understand how to share their story, how to get the press to wanting to pick up their story, how to get them hooked up to a few podcast shows, a few TV shows, because that way that's going to give somebody the solid foundation that they need to grow from that. A lot of people, they think, oh, no, we need that later. Like, no, you need that foundation, that credibility first, because credibility equals visibility. You being visible, you being seen, you celebrating being seen, sharing that with your loved ones, your friends, your neighbors, your followers, that, hey, look, I just got ABC or CNBC or Yahoo Finance to talk about me. Hey, I was just on Mark's show. I was just on Carlos Inspire show. I was just on, Los Angeles, Monday Night Live at the Tribune, blah, 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 right? Because now guess what? That gives you momentum. So when you have a strategy, when you build the momentum around that strategy, now that things start to unfolding, right? It gives you that drive. It gives you like, wow, you're getting all this momentum. Now, because of you did this strategy campaign, now you are gaining more momentum. Other podcasters and TV show hosts are now inviting you to come on their show. And it builds from there. So I want to be able to, Mark, give others what I wish somebody would done for me when I was at my worst, when I didn't have the money, when I didn't have the connections, when I didn't know Tony Robbins or any billionaires and multimillionaires that I know today or celebrities. I want to wish that somebody, and it's something that I've been preaching since I was a kid in the hood. Do to others, Carlos, what you wish it was done to you at your past. And I'll tell you guys something that I used to ask my grandma after we were done being abused and tortured by my grandpa. And I used to be on the floor crying, sleeping underneath her in her hammock. And my grandma always said, filho, é melhor sorrir do que chorar. It's better to laugh instead of crying. And she said, she used to translate it, and tell me the quotes from very successful people like Les Brown. Vá para a lua que você vai chegar nas estrelas. Shoot for the moon that you will land among the stars. She used to tell me so many quotes. And she's funny. Her and I used to talk about it. They all stole it from the Bible. We always read the Bible together. But it's funny, bro. She spoke life into me when that was all lost. And I speak life into others. And I used to ask her, hey, Grandma, how come those guys, they don't come here to Brazil and they teach us, my friends on the hood, they are selling next to me, they're selling bread. How come, Les on Napoleon Hill or all these people, the famous celebrities, like from Los Angeles and New York, Chuck Norris, why they don't come over here and Arnold Schwarzenegger and they teach us, how do you become a celebrity? How do you become a musician? How do you become a successful athlete and a successful business owner that own 50 chains of whatever, right? And she goes, son, eles não falam português. They don't speak Portuguese. I was like, God damn it. I was like, all right, Grandma. I was 7 years old, just frustrated, pissed off. And I said, okay, Grandma, I promise you one day I will become that person. I will learn so many different languages and I will come back and I will help all my friends. I'll help everybody in need. And I will just help anybody that comes to me to ask me questions. And I will do for others what I wish I was done to myself. And I keep saying that, bro. Because even when she was on her deathbed and her and I talking, she say, as she always told me when I was a kid, if that's one person in the planet that I know is going to do it, son, that's you. Because she knew how hungry I was, So, and that's why I do what I do, but it's about doing to others what you wish was done to you. And, do it with integrity. Do it like tell people, look, it's a process. You cannot just buy it. You're going to have to be vetted in. You have to tell me your story. You literally have to fill up a questionnaire. Tell me your story. Tell me why. Tell me about your mess right now that you are going through, because that mess of yours will become your message. And if you tell me that you are hungry and you got something powerful, whether you have an e-commerce product or a coaching package or an NFT painting that you've been painting since you was a kid because you were suicidal or depressed or you got raped and you start drawing so you didn't kill yourself, I want to hear it. I want to hear the shit that you never told anybody. I want to hear what the devil is whispering in your ear. because if I can hear that, I can help you structure that message and story so powerfully that we can share the world, and the world will hear it. Because I'm very good at telling stories and putting them out there in a way that the people want to read it and want to share it. And when you tap into shareability and get people to wanting to share your stories, that's power in that. I just get fired up, man, as I talk about this stuff, It's like,
well, firstly, Carlos, you have done your grandma very proud, and I've built my whole business using the power of PR, media coverage, podcast, radio, television, articles, publications. I know the value and the power, and it can happen really quickly if it's done in a good way. It can really help you to build credibility, authority. That leads to building trust, that leads to attracting clients, and it's very, very powerful. So I know the power of it, Carlos, and anyone out there watching interested to connect with Carlos, be sure to connect with him. Now, you did mention a name there, Carlos, Tony Robbins. Now, these words came out of his mouth, I believe, that you were giving him a run for his money. Tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, man, talking about being vulnerable, right? And sharing your stories. And, one time I went to one of his events called Date with Destiny. I'm a lifelonger, learner, like wherever you want, whenever, if you wanted to become the best at what you do, you want to learn from the best. And I had to go to Tony, for personal reasons, to attempt to save the life of my wife. My daughter was born with a mutation, genetic disorder that's not a cure for it. And she wouldn't sleep for years. Imagine your kid waking up at night every couple of minutes, not sleeping for years and years. And imagine the toll that would have taken your spouse. And, my wife, her and I, we agreed that she stays home, to take care of the kids. And I'm out there working. And I've always been very blessed. I'm very skillful at whatever I do. I'm very competitive. So I was able to make a lot of money in my lifetime in anything that I do, because I refuse to lose, and if I'm going to do something, I want it to become number one. And I went on a mission, brother. I went on a very powerful mission to learn how to become a doctor, how to become a coach, how to become a therapist. All I wanted to do was to attempt to save the love of my life. Because one time I come home, I see her crying on the floor. And she look at me crying and say that I don't want it to be a burden to you anymore. She told me that you are out there helping others, helping so many people around the world. But I don't want to be a burden to you anymore. And I wish that God would just take me. And when I heard that, my entire life, I started reflecting and thinking back when I had that knife in my hand as a kid. And you're like, it's funny how you accomplish so much in life, but that's one thing that money doesn't buy, or power or connections, and is health. Cannot buy health, cannot buy love, cannot buy friendship. Some things in life you just cannot buy. And God just slapped me pretty big that day. I tried everything. I thought of that me making more money, I was going to be able to fix it, but I can only make so much money. And I had to get back to my senses. And I decided to did something pretty crazy. I talk about in my book. I have this crazy inspirational book. It's a very, very inspirational book called Work Like an Immigrant. And I talk a lot about this story there, the things that I have to do. But I'll give you guys a short version, and I'll leave the rest for the book. And by the way, what I just did here right now, this is a teaching moment. Whenever you are teaching, whenever you're going in a show, whenever you are speaking on a stage, you always want to leave your audience wanting a little bit more. Yes. You want to operate and act as if you are HBO, as if you are Showtime, as if you are MTV, as if you are BT, whatever's your favorite channel. You always leave the audience wanting more.
Yes.
When you speak, when you teach, always is speak in a way that they are eager to learn more about you. They are eager to share about it. They are eager to keep going deep with yourself. Because the more that you do that, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to watch it. And all you need is just every person that watch, if they just refer you and bring you one person to watch your show, that is magic in there, and it grows. But I went on the garage that day. I started praying. I saw a book there. After I was praying and meditating, I was supposed to clean the garage a few days prior. And that book was, guess what the book was? Awaken the Power Within. And I'm old school. Like whenever I read stuff, I take notes. I put paper clips. I put Post-it notes. I literally destroyed the entire book. Whatever. I love reading, and I saw that, and I grabbed the book. I was on the shelf in the garage, and I go, and I removed the dust. I opened, and I started reading it. Some of my important points on that book. And then here we go again. God's telling me, you need to reach out to this brother here. And I went and I called his company that day, and I talked to a secretary. Back then, they were based in San Diego. This was ages ago. And before they moved to Florida. And the secretary answered. And I told her, like, yeah, I got a situation that I got to take care of. You know, my wife doesn't feel like living anymore. And I need to learn whatever Tony knows. I need to learn everything because she doesn't want to go see any more therapists or any more coaches, any more hypnosis people. You know, there was some cases about hypnosis people in the area that we lived, that they were actually hypnotizing women and they were abusing them. And I told that to the lady, and she's like, hold on, what did you just say? Like, yeah, my wife didn't feel like living anymore. She told me that. And I figured if that's one person that can help me in the world, I'm very competitive. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. You know, Tony Robbins, we kind of look like we can relate to. I can relate to him. So she's like, hold on, let me get my manager. And she goes and got her manager, right? Can you explain to me what you just said? She's like, wow, sounds like you are on a mission, sir. I'm like, yeah. So you tell me what I need to buy. I buy it right now so that I can start the training and the process. He's like, okay, it's gonna cost you tens of thousands of dollars. I don't care how much is it gonna cost. I got the money, and even if I wouldn't have it, I would freaking do whatever it takes as long as it's with integrity to get it. And I went on, Mark, and he told me all the courses to buy and all the events to go to attend. And I just lined them all up over this next like 6 months where I went deep. I started learning from Tony Robbins, all the people that taught Tony Robbins. I started learning about them, right? Jim Rome, like like all the people, like my mind went blank. Freaking Richard Bandler, you know, like all the OGs, anybody into psychology, Ericksonian methods. I went deep, bro. I went like full Carlos mode, and I started learning how to become a therapist. I started learning medicine, and I became a certified, you know, master in Qigong. I learned energy. Anything that I could learn, I was on a mission to help my wife and find the cure for my daughter. And it was just crazy. And then one day, you know, on his events, I shared the story, and he was like, what the heck? He was like a little kid in the stage, just like listening, and thousands of people. But the crazy part is that I was being vulnerable. I never wanted to be like a coach or a speaker back then. I was a corporate guy in Silicon Valley that owned some farms in Brazil, you know, that were very good with sales and marketing. And I would speak and then train thousands of people in sales and marketing, but just for the corporates in the telecommunication industry that I was in. And Tony said, what did you guys learn here? You know, he had people raise their hand, and I raised mine, and he picked me on the crowd. And he said, what did you learn here this week so far in this event? And I said, look, what I learned here is priceless, but I got to tell you something, because you always tell us on the tapes and the CDs, and who is old enough, they have the cassettes and the tapes, the little, you know, you put them there. And then I said, look, man, what I learned here was great, but I need to tell you, because you always tell us to thank you when we see you on the airport or in your events on what we learn. So I want to take this moment to thank you. And it was like unconscious, Mark. It was like I just start talking and I start telling him this story until later I realized that he was crying. Thousands of people in the room were crying, were chanting. I was like, shit, what did I just told something super private, personal. I say, my wife is going to kill me. and then Tony invited me on the stage, and it was like, my life changed that day. I went from having, a few hundred followers and friends on Facebook back then, and then it went to thousands of people. And it was just, and that day, I understood, there's power in being vulnerable and sharing your stories. And it's a whole bunch of more cool things that I told him that day that led him to eventually say that now I found somebody that can give me a run for my money. Ladies and gentlemen, the Latino Tony Robbins is born. And I talk about all the details in the book. So you guys have to listen or read the book, Work Like an Immigrant. 100% of the proceeds goes to my causes. I help fight hunger in Brazil. I own a bunch of farms. I got vegetable and meat and produce a lot of cheese and milk. And then we go and we drive around town and we give to families that are not working. I love doing that because I wish somebody would do that to me before. And, it was impactful, bro. That entire day, it changed. People start coming to me. Are you a coach? Are you a speaker? I'm like, no, but, just can you come and I'll pay you? How much do you charge? Do you have your one sheet, one page, or what? Back then I didn't know nothing about none of this shit. I'm like, no, I don't. Oh, I'll help you do one. I was like, just send me a PayPal and or pay for my plane ticket and I'll come over, And then my entire life changed just by being vulnerable and just learning, you know what I mean? And then I start getting in that game, failing forward, failing faster, failing frequently, learning the whole coaching and speaking space, which back then in this last decade was very competitive. I realized that early on, a lot of people, right, between 2013 and 2020, that was the thing. Like before COVID, right, coaching, speaking, consulting, e-commerce, a very competitive space. Everybody and their mother was a coach and consultant and speaker. But my ability to tell stories, PR, understanding the power in PR and all those things, it helped me separate myself and help thousands of people that I mentored also get out there and make a ton of money and follow and fulfill their dreams. It's a long answer, but, it's so much more into it, bro. That's a great question. Somebody haven't asked me that question.
That's a brilliant story, Carlos, and what a great testimony from Tony Robbins himself. I would encourage everyone to go out and get a copy of Work Like an Immigrant. Did I get that title right? Work Like an Immigrant.
Yeah, international bestseller. I go around the villages and, the barrios and the favelas of the world. And I teach the people that run the shelters, and I give them hundreds of copies to teach the children. And it's very profound. There's a lot of wisdom, a lot of strategy in this book for life, for business, sales, marketing. Just if you're ever down, open up that book in any page. It's alive. A lot of souls that die.
Work Like an Immigrant. Go and grab your copy now. Carlos, I need to do a 1-minute commercial. After the break, we will chat all about crypto and NFTs, which I'm really looking forward to chatting about. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for part 1 of Brilliance Business TV. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Stephen Buckner, and just wanted to tell you I support the Dreamweaver project. It's a great project where, artists such as myself will be able to come together and basically collaborate and to have a retreat to feel accepted and welcome. And that's something that artists here and around the world could always benefit from. So I just want to say, please support the Dreamweaver project. I think it's for a great cause, and I salute all the independent artists out there and artists that are signed as well. And have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Today, we're having a conversation with the incredible Carlos Siqueira. Carlos, welcome back to Brilliance Business TV.
Great to be back, brother.
Carlos, I am seeing so much attention going to NFTs. Firstly, can you explain what an NFT is?
So basically, an NFT, for somebody that's brand new, you guys are probably hearing all this fuss on social media, but you probably have no idea. You might have heard the terminology, right? NFT stands for a non-fungible token. And what does non-fungible means? It's basically something that's very unique and cannot be replaced with something else. It's unique. It's a digital asset that you own, and typically it's held on the Ethereum blockchain, which is the most famous one. And there are also other blockchains out there. They are now expanding, such as the Solana blockchain, Cardano, and many, many others. You know, and a lot of people right now, you guys might heard Beeple. Beeple has one of the most expensive NFT ever sold. $69 million.
Wow.
For a JPEG. Matter of fact, I highly recommend there is a new documentary on Beeple on YouTube. It's a short film, very short. I think it's like less than 30 minutes. And it calls Becoming Beeple. I just shared that with, I have a private Telegram group that I do free NFTs and crypto education for, like, you know, beginners and medium levels. You know, and basically, if you go on my Instagram at Carlos Inspire on Instagram, that's a link there underneath my bio that takes you to that Telegram group. So anybody that just want to learn more about NFTs and cryptos, I have all the definitions. I break it down, some of the projects that I am in. What do I look for when I buy an NFT? You know, for example, whenever I am looking to buy an NFT, the biggest thing, guys, that you guys want to look for is there a community around the NFT? Because here's the thing, in anything that we do in life, number one thing is community. I speak quite a bit out there, and one of my topics to talk about is transcendence. What does that mean? Transcendence. Well, it means above oneself. Every time that I speak, every time that I go anywhere, I'm always trading my expectations for appreciation. It's about every single person winning. It's above oneself. When you operate from that place, nobody's left behind. Nobody goes hungry. We all win. Every single one of us. So when I am teaching, I'm never going to teach you or take you to a place that I haven't been myself. Let my losses in this past decade in crypto and NFTs be your wealth that you will create, because I had to learn, and you learn by losing. You learn by making mistakes. And trust me, I made many. Thank God I made way more money than the mistakes that I made, but only because I failed forward, I failed fast, and I failed frequently in this space. But, you know, if it definitely, I highly recommend you guys follow me there on Telegram, because NFTs, everything now, like literally, I'll give you guys an example. Some of you guys, like, for you that play video game, some of you that play video game, if you ever purchase something within that game, that's kind of NFT in itself. It's because a video game has a community tied to that video game, and that community is very close, right? So the community be able to buy, imagine you buying things with your friends in the community, and the games grows and the community grows, the value of the NFT grows. It's a lot of, it's a whole more things that go into that, my brother Mark. But the number one thing before you get into any NFTs, make sure that it's a community. Make sure that they are verified. If you go on OpenSea, which is one of the most famous marketplaces out there, also you can Rarible is another one. Now you have Solana with a whole bunch of partnerships they are doing with FTX. They are also having NFTs there as well. But you guys gotta make sure that those NFTs, they are verified, that they have a community. And then when you are looking for the NFTs, there will be a place, a section. We think, let's say, for example, OpenSea, that's gonna say properties. Under the properties, it will tell you how rare the NFT is. And typically, you'll be able to notice. It would say if you have laser eyes, only 1 or 2% of the 10,000 NFTs have this rarity. So that's a great sign. If you can buy something like that at a good price, if that's a strong community around that project, and if you look at the roadmap, typically a project, they have a roadmap. The roadmap is going to talk about, okay, in 2022, first quarter, we're going to launch a video game. Or in the second quarter, if you own this character and is a male character, we're going to drop you a princess character. And then if you kiss, it will be a baby. So now they give you another free NFT. And because of the combination of the two, a baby comes out. And, there's a lot of creativities that are happening in that space. I like to teach like I'm teaching a kid, So I'm giving you guys some basic training here, and just for you guys to have an idea. And it's a whole lot of more that can happen there. Mark, one thing that I really like is that a lot of children and young kids that work in third world countries, now they have the ability to, let's say if you sell, a bracelet or earrings or necklace, right, on the streets. My dream is to see people running the shelters around those countries, teaching the kids about the metaverse, about NFTs and crypto, and say, hey, now you can take photos of your necklace and your earrings and your bracelets. We can upload that photo on the internet via whether we're going to do the Ethereum chain or the Cardano or the Solana. Let's, before we go technical, let's just say you take a photo of the object that you sell. Now you upload that to the internet to sell it as an NFT. Now it's your JPEG. And then not only you can make money now from selling on the streets, but you can also now sell the NFT. You just open up a second source of income, and you can take it to another level by saying, I'm only going to make 100 kinds of this bracelet. Not only 100 will exist. If you buy my bracelet, it also comes with the JPEG NFT. And for the people overseas, if you buy this JPEG, this NFT, I'm going to ship you the bracelet. And it's only 100 of them. So now you are combining tangible projects with intangible and taken to a whole nother level now. Yes. So I dream that's my vision for the future, for us to be able to help children and women that have been abused, that don't have a man, whether they abandon them in third world countries, for them to start putting their art, because if you do a bracelet or a necklace or anything, or if you do a hammock, it's handmade. It's a piece of art. So take a photo, upload on the internet. Now you have your art as a picture, and you have the object. Attach them two together. Now you'll be able to make more money out of that. And now you are teaching impoverished areas the power of the metaverse, NFTs, and crypto. You kind of bringing them into the metaverse, which the metaverse is basically the internet where people are playing games and interacting with each other and trading arts and trading, pieces of art or playing games together and along those natures. But, that's just like an overall idea. Yes. To give you guys just some idea about how much craziness is happening out there. People are also selling books. You can sell a book, and you can do, let's say you do 10,000 books, and you can make 100 of them gold cover. Let's say if I do Work Like an Immigrant, or if I will do How Not to Work Like an Immigrant, and I say it's only going to be 1,000 books, but out of their 1,000, 100 of them going to have a gold page. It's going to be gold. So if you have access to my 100 gold, if you buy my NFT, you're going to get one of the 100. And every time I do a book for the rest of my life, I'm going to ship it to you you're going to get a free autograph sign of all my future books that I do from now on. And when I do an event, you're going to be sitting front row. You see?
I get it.
So so much that we can do, brother. And it's so much that you learn when you guys get into it. It's just like like I've been putting thousands of hours into learning, and I learn every single day. I'm on Twitter a lot, speaking on spaces. There's so much happening right now. It's amazing what is ahead of us. And if you guys are listening to me now, you are early. You are early in NFTs. You are early in the metaverse. You are early in crypto. We are just getting started, my friends.
Yes, and I want to dip my toe in so you can hold my hand through that process, Carlos. Thank you for explaining it. You've made it really easy and accessible to understand, and I definitely am interested in dipping my toe in, so you will be the person that can hold my hand through that process. I encourage everyone, if you're interested in media, PR, or you're interested in crypto, NFTs, and the metaverse, go to on Twitter, Coach Siqueira, or Instagram, Carlos Inspire. That's Coach Siqueira on Twitter and Carlos Inspire on Instagram. Carlos, we've run out of time. I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you. Thank you so much for being my guest on the Brilliance Business TV show.
Thank you, my brother. Always a pleasure. And as I always love to tell everyone out there, life is all about the mission, never decommission. And whenever you guys forget, remind that a 6'5", 350-pound brother here from Brazil that lives in Silicon Valley look at you in the eyes, give you a big hug, lifting you in the floor, and tells you the days that breaks us are truly the days that makes us. God bless you.
Carlos, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you once again. Thank you, everyone, for watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.